Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 12th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll move on to the roll call of members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Yes. Oops, wrong page. Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Rebecca McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any changes or edits to the minutes? Would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, on to department head reports. First up is Police Department. Chief Morgan.
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 979 calls for service. 37 people were arrested in that same time frame. 9 for operating while intoxicated, 13 wanted on a warrant, 4 for possession of meth, 1 for dealing meth, 4 for domestic battery, 1 for criminal recklessness, 1 for possession of marijuana, 1 for possession of a narcotic, and 3 for invasion of privacy, and 16 handgun permits that were sent off to the state for final approval. Our newest hire, Jackson Bland, started on the 31st of March. Jackson is currently going through our pre-basic at LPD, and he is on the waiting list to go through the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, hopefully in June. He's second on the list. If they have a couple drop out, he'll be in. Officer Jameson Wright has completed the first phase to become an accident reconstructionist by completing the at-scene traffic crash/traffic homicide investigation training. This is a pretty hard course. It takes a week. At the end of it, on that Friday, you take a 2.5-hour test. Jameson did really well. He only missed one question. So pretty proud of that. This week, he'll start the second phase of it. And after he completes that, then there will be one more phase, and he'll be an official accident reconstructionist. And we're hoping to get him on the FACT team. We've started getting our state mandate training in like we did last year. We're going to be doing this online. As the officers have downtime on their shift, they can be doing the online training and get the most for our money. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Thank you, sir. Next up will be Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Works meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 183 emergency calls of service, logged 336 training hours, and completed 76 commercial inspections. The written exam for the 2021 hiring process was held on April 8th in the Herman B. Wells Room at the Lebanon High School. The first board interviews will be held on May 3rd and 4th. If you remember back in November of last year, we made a purchase of a tanker. Since then, 95%, or to date, 95% of the department has completed all the required training for Tanker 211. An in-service date will be set in the middle of May to put that vehicle officially in service. I just wanted to explain that a little bit. I know it seems like a long time since we purchased the truck before we get it in service. It's a very large piece of equipment. It weighs over 30 tons. A lot of responsibility comes with operating it, and it's not something we want to rush. We want to make sure that our driver operators are where they need to be with driving hours, equipment hours, and pumping hours before we're ready to release that truck to the public. Concrete prep work has begun at the Boone County Training Tower for our new flashover chamber. Lebanon Fire is overseeing this project. We're completing it with sweat equity and our on-duty crews, along with the White Sound Fire Department, completing all the prep and concrete work. We're having the flashover chamber built locally here at ATP. It's going to be a great training tool for the training tower. It's going to simulate flashover conditions for firefighters, learning thermodynamics along with fire behavior and ventilation and flow path. So very happy to be able to offer this to the fire departments of Boone County and throughout the state. So a couple things I do not have in my report that I want to mention is Lane Beeler. Lane has been on for 1 year. He's completed his probationary year. This young man is a Purdue graduate, and he's just doing an amazing job for us. We're very happy with his performance thus far. He received his 1-year reviews. They were off the charts. So very happy with Lane. And also firefighter Chris Perry. He's been with us for about 4.5 years. Chris has completed all of his prerequisites to be a ride-out officer, and he will be taking his practical and interview tomorrow to become a ride-out for our department. So very happy with his performance as well. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? Anything from the public? Thanks, sir. Next up is Parks Department, John Messenger.
Good evening. Let me start off with Reese Park. That's on Maple Drive, just north of town. LISA started their season. Please be mindful of all the activity out there. For parking instructions, visit LISA's website. The utility work is staging their area out there, so there is tough parking, but there's plenty of parking if you follow the website on where to park. They're ahead of schedule, the utilities is, so hopefully we'll have those areas back soon. Memorial Park, we have LHS Baseball started their season. We've paved most of the inside the baseball area there. Should complete the rest of it by tomorrow, hopefully so. We have a JV game and a varsity Wednesday and a tournament Saturday. So as you can see, it's a busy place. The playground building, along with a couple trees, have been removed, leveled out. We're finishing up more site work as we move forward on our all-inclusive playground and shelter design. Next up is the paving of the parking lot right across from the baseball field, along with the exit out 39. And also a walking path, so you don't have to get out in the road at all. We're going to extend that road by the baseball diamond and then put a walking path, asphalt right along the fence, baseball fence. Really looking forward to that because too many people walk in the road there. Abner Longley Park, the RC course, softball field, and dog park are all very popular. Just tons of people down there. Conservation Pond is now open 7 days a week from 8 to 6, along with the hot pond, which is always open. Abner Longley Park, again, the RC course is just incredibly busy down there. The office continues to be extremely busy with day-to-day operations, pickleball activity, that league play, events and shelter and pool rentals are just off the dial. Phones are very busy, which is good with this nice weather. We're down to just 6 available dates left for a pool party this summer, so make your reservations now. Stop by or call the office and get your dates booked. There again, we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so 4 all throughout the month of June, July, and August. And as I said, there's only 6 left. Current and upcoming programs, several people and their families participated in our scavenger hunt. Really happy that they had some great weather to do that, and it's neat to see these little kids coming in getting their little pool passes for their participation. In partnership with Let's Go Sports, we are offering a sports camp, Tiny Hitters. All Sports Champs has started and is held on Thursday evenings. You can still sign up though at Abner Longley Park is where that's being held, and also Tiny Hitters will begin May 1st. Again, you go ahead and get on our website and be able to sign up your little ones for that. Our spring pickleball league is going very well, and the courts are constantly busy. We have a few more weeks of play, and then at the end of this league, we'll have a tournament at the end of this league play season. The Easter egg hunt was a big hit. Always one of my favorite as a child, and I think we all enjoy it. Just a great crowd that we had out there, and the weather was just perfect. I want to thank the mayor for emceeing that. I appreciate it, passing out those big candy bars, you and your wife. And Mason, I think Mason probably got a little, maybe a little snack out of that, we'll see. But there again, I want to thank Jack Carroll from Purity Wholesale, not only a monetary donation, but those giant candy bars that lit up those kids' faces. So want to thank him for that. He's really been a good contributor to the parks. I also want to thank Miss Bohannon's class at LHS for stuffing the thousands and thousands of eggs that we had during the Easter egg hunt. We'll be hosting a princess party on Saturday, May 8th. That's Mother's Day weekend for all of you out there. All carriage rides have been booked already. They were booked very quick. But please still come out to her cabin, visit with our princess that we have there, and participate in the crafts that we have. And that event is free. So if you would, get out there and bring your little princess, bring your mom out there, and that's a nice little event we have. And that's all I had.
Okay, thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board? Anything from the public? Yep, thank you, sir. Next up is Engineering Department, Kim Krulik.
Thank you, board members. Engineering report for this week, since we last talked. One note on downtown, essentially done there, but we had some complaints through the winter that the walkway resurfacing on the north side on Washington Street there around St. Adrian's and Lacey Boggs was a little slick. So we're coming back to resurface that, add some more grit to the surface. That's going to happen later in the month, around April 27th. So we will have to close that sidewalk just for a day, basically, while we apply a new clear coat and some more grit to that. Let's see, other projects in the works, pavement resurfacing. Happy to report that all of our NDOT contracts and our NDOT fund requests are now complete. So that does open up all we need to move forward with the resurfacing projects for the year. A couple other notes on other NDOT projects that are ongoing. I had previously talked about NDOT's plans to redo the intersection of State Road 39 and 32, whereby they were going to upgrade that signal with new decorative material to match downtown, and we were going to cover the costs, those increased costs for the material. Although the project has been designed, has been approved, it did not make it through their funding rounds for this year, so they are delaying that project till next year at this point. Actually, it was delayed until fiscal year 2023, but it will probably happen in 2022 is what I've been told. So we'll keep you posted as that moves forward. We're in regular communication with the state on those issues. Other issue I know that is on everybody's mind is the State Road 32 and Ping Drive traffic signals near ICP. As I've said before, traffic generation of the Gateway Marketplace project has to be there before we can justify, or the state will justify hanging the signal heads. But we do have one bit of good news that we're looking into with the state. Given the I-65 added travel lane project where they're widening the interstate from just north of 32 basically up to the county line, they've had to look at the entire road system and look at how they're going to maintain traffic through the city as people look for ways to get around construction. Well, one of the ways people get around construction is 32 to 39 to 47. Because they're going to do that, the increased traffic through the intersection of Ping and 32 may warrant, from a maintenance of traffic standpoint, hanging those signals before the Gateway Marketplace project warrants the hanging of those signals. So keep your fingers crossed. Their engineers are looking at that right now. There may already be a warrant there given the detour routes that the state has published. Other projects, local projects, the Whit Road Bridge. Remember, we've awarded that to HIS contractors. Bridge construction is scheduled for this fall. We're looking at a 45-day complete closure during that construction process. Inspection services, we're just wrapping up our legal contract negotiations, so hopefully be able to execute that contract in the next couple of days. And then we can move forward into a pre-construction meeting as soon as those professional services are under contract. The community crossing contracts, the NDOT fund requests, those are all complete at this point, and we're ready to move forward. Utility relocation notices to proceed are expected to be issued this week. We're still working on right-of-way buying. Remember, we have 3 parcels that are associated with that project. The east side of the road, which is where most of the utility relocation will happen, has already been completed. There was 1 parcel there, then there's 2 parcels on the west side. Unfortunately, coordinations with those owners are probably going to prompt us to take further legal action, further condemnation action to finalize those acquisitions. So that will delay things, but we think we can still keep things going within the construction timeframe that I've laid out, which is a September 1 start of construction and everything fully wrapped up by December 1st. Keep you posted as that moves forward. Still talking about bridges. The Elmwood Bridge, Clark Dietz project is moving forward. We've had utility coordination meetings and coordination meetings with the county. Those continue to be moving forward. No hiccups at this point, other than the potential historic nature of the structure that is going to cause some possible delays. But we're still hopeful that with an aggressive schedule and aggressive approach, we can have that ready for bidding at the end of the year. Worst case, though, it might push into first quarter next year, which still puts it on the same construction schedule, which is the fall of 2022. Active living projects, just one quick update. The cost share sidewalk program is, we've received 12 applications at this point. Derek Warren is processing those and working with our contractors, so we should be starting that up in the next few weeks. But really excited to see, actually at the time I report there was 12, and I believe by the end of the day we had a 13th application submitted. So a lot of people taking advantage of that program to get half their sidewalks paid for. Big Four trail projects. We had our grant kickoff meeting the first of the month, and grant agreements have now been executed with the state, so that is moving forward. Long process ahead of us on those things. Grant Street project, we are in the middle of right-of-way buying at this point. We've also set our neighborhood coordination meeting for Monday, May 3rd. That is not a Board of Works City Council meeting evening, that is a Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. So we thought that would be a good time to have that meeting and invite the neighbors out to learn more about the project. A couple of side projects, associated projects, the water utility relocations of William Street are wrapping up, and the William Street Bridge, Bridge 311, to be replaced by the county, is scheduled to get started right at the end of the school year. It'll be a complete closure of the Ann Street intersection and the bridge for up to 75 days while that bridge is reconstructed from June 1st through August 15th. Fordyce Road, nothing really major to update there. Right-of-way acquisition services have been released, and that's moving forward. And we are meeting with the school later this week to discuss right-of-way and drainage coordination with their property along the north side of Fordyce Road. Bike park project, not a whole lot of updates since the last time. We did get a Central Indiana Bicycle Association grant award of $5,000. So that was some good support there from a really good bicycle advocacy group for the state of Indiana. I'm also happy to report that on, I think I said this last time, but on March 16th, we received a request for additional information from IDEM. They wanted some additional minor site plan revisions, some additional testing, some ambient air testing, some groundwater sampling. Nothing that is out of the ordinary or nothing that is unusual given the nature of the project. So we're working with them and our consultants to move that project forward. Happy to report, though, that the IDEM letter did say we could start construction. Did say that we could begin soil stockpiling on site in anticipation of their final approvals. Obviously, we're working through our county approvals as well on that. We were at a Board of Zoning Appeals regarding the director's decision at the end of March, and we're still awaiting final documentation from that meeting and evaluating options moving forward. We've not heard a lot of informal communication from the county at this point regarding the nature of the project. Moving out to the industrial park, we're working with Ken's Foods is the only major thing happening out there, and their plans for future expansion, a future 200,000 square foot expansion. We're tying that into some land acquisition deal with them for the expansion of our middle regional detention facility. And with that, I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions for Kevin from the board?
No.
Anything from the public? Okay, thanks, sir. Next up is Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Good evening, board members. Planning department activity has started to pick up, and I think that coincides with a little bit of nicer weather over the last few weeks. So we did complete 55 building inspections over the last few weeks and issued 60 permits. During Lebanon Spring Break Week, it felt like I was the only one in the office, and I think I issued most of those myself. So I certainly, I can certainly understand and appreciate the work that all the planning staff members do, and in particular Christy and all the things she handles for us as office manager. Definitely appreciate all the work they do. I did have to issue, I think, 6 new single-family permits in one day, and I think that took me most of the day to do that, and she probably would have had it done in 10 minutes. So certainly appreciate all the work all the staff does. On code enforcement side, again, as we start to see the weather warm up, the grass starts to grow and everybody starts getting all their stuff out. So, we're definitely seeing activity that's going to start picking up over the next few weeks on grass and weed and junk complaints. But we are out on a regular basis, patrolling for junk vehicles and things like that, and responding to any calls that we get. So there is definitely a lot of activity that's taking place there, and we'll certainly pick up as we get further into the warmer months. I was also gone the last one week over the last couple weeks, so that's all I really got this time. So I'm happy answering questions if there are any.
Any questions for Ben? Anything from the public? Thanks, sir. Next is Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
How's everybody doing? We've been pretty busy with debris week last week. So thanks to the park for loaning us their chipper, we got 2 chippers out. Pretty caught up on that. I think the rain's kind of slowed us down a little bit over the weekend. So we'll be doing that the rest of this week as well until Friday, and then we'll go back to our normal schedules once a month. But made it through this, almost made it all the way through the city sweeping for the first time. We're going to start over as soon as we get through, so run it the rest of the week. Just a reminder that the bike sale's coming up Thursday, April 22nd. We scheduled it from 5 to 7. If it's anything like the year before, it was like a half an hour we was out of bikes. So if you come by, we're not there. We sold out of bikes. We're not going to stick around till 7 with nothing there to sell. There is going to be a couple of lawnmowers utilities putting in it, so they'll have a rep there to wheel and deal, whatever they want to do. The bikes will just be priced. We're going to price them. There's not going to be no big deal about it. They're really reasonable. So we got a boatload of them. The shed's full, so hopefully we can move all those and get them out of there. Also a reminder that spring cleanup is Friday, April 23rd and Saturday, April 24th from 7 to 4 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days, rain or shine. Once again, we will not be accepting electronics such as televisions, paint, hazardous materials, or tires. I do believe they're doing a hazardous that Saturday. I don't know the exact time, 9 to 2, I believe it is, or something like that.
That sounds right.
But they'll be doing that. I don't hold me to it, but I think it's at the county garage off of Indianapolis Avenue. So, but we will be, or we don't accept tires as well. They usually do there as well, I think, like 4 per person or something like that. Don't hold me to that, but something like that. We will accept refrigerators and air conditioners at no fees, and like I said, this event's rain or shine, so bring your junk, the Rays will take it. Like I did mention, yard debris week still going on until the end of this week. I wanted to go ahead and give our brush schedule again for 2021 season. Obviously, 2 weeks we've done it, so then it'll be again May 10th through the 14th. That'll be our next one. And then I'll just update them as we move on. You don't have to hear all of them, obviously. We have had a few instances already this week where we found some lawnmower blades and stuff like that in the leaf piles. We just got to be careful with that. It tears up equipment, and that just costs us, our budget more money. So just a little common sense goes a long way. Don't put metal in the brush or in the leaf piles or nothing like that. It just costs money. The more time we're down, the less we can pick up. So other than that, it's been going really good. The guys are working hard, so we're getting ready to roll. We're ready for the weather now to get going with our storm projects and all that. So we're get through this week, we'll start tearing down some more trucks and be ready to go.
Okay. Any questions for Dave from the board?
What's the date of the bicycle sale again?
April 22nd.
April 22nd.
We got 2 or 3 of them for you, Bill.
I don't know. Somebody will ask me.
Bring your wallet.
Any other questions from the board? Anything from the public? Thanks, Dave.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
And last but not least, Communications Community Development, Jill Page.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin talking about the latest video that the Communications and Community Development Department has put together. That one was for the Lebanon Fire Department and the Western Boone high school job fair, and so a lot of fun putting that video together. It's also one that we may put out to the public here because it's able to stand alone. It's a lot of fun. It highlights the great work that the firefighters of LFD are taking part in. Next up, and have begun work on the Tiger Trail video. And so the delivery of those great tiger statues throughout our community, not only talking with the mayor and members of our Parks Department who helped deliver those tigers, but also the recipients. And so you get to see kind of the full scale, full circle approach to that effort, where it's not only a mission or a vision that is one that is developing the quality of life of their public. You're also seeing those members of the public whose qualities of life are being improved with those tiger statues. We, speaking of those tiger statues, 19 of 20 tiger statues have been completed. Many thanks to the Parks Department, delivered the latest 2, and once those 2 get their official names, we will release those to the public. And we hope to have all 20 complete by the end of the school year, kind of forecasting who has that 20th tiger statue. And once all 20 are complete, you'll be able to see, we'll release our Tiger Trail map, which will be able to highlight in much larger fashion than we've done so far, all 20 tigers and their locations. That's also going to be kind of a part of a marketing effort, as well as more website push. And so we want to be able to, as those tigers come out, be able to share the location. But once we have all 20, we'd like to make a bigger deal about it, and a kind of finding all 20 and being able to increase folks being able to visit those tigers as well. Website improvements and refreshes continue. Updated content and events added within our community. And so if you're wanting to find out when a certain gathering or activity happens, the community calendar on our city's website is a pretty good place to go. If you have updates that you'd like to see made, those events, you can send an email to info@lebanon.in.gov and share a little bit about your events, any marketing materials, flyers and such. Always appreciated, and we'll get those added to the website. One of those events coming up on May 1st is Saber Lebanon 2021. This event is happening downtown this year. You may have remembered that in years past it was at the 4-H Fairgrounds. Bringing it to the heart of Lebanon, that area this year. It's an over 21 event, beer, wine, music, food, a lot of fun for those that are 21 and over. Duke Tomato is the musical act this year, so you may remember him from the Bob and Tom Show. A lot of fun. There's also an auxiliary stage that'll have a DJ. Again, a lot of fun, and a little bit later on in our time together here on the Board of Works, be asking for road closures for that event, again, coming up on May 1st. Coming up on June 5th and 6th is Summerfest. This is a first of its kind event that we'd like to have it be a reoccurring one. 8 bands over the course of 2 days. Lots of fun for the entire family. And so this is there'll be offerings there for the over 21 crowd, but also a lot of just the celebration of music for everyone. A lot of different genres will be on display there. And so looking forward to having a full calendar of events that our community does best. So looking forward to adding those for the public.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? Anything from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, that concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Is there anything from the board?
No.
Nope. Okay, then move on to new business then. First item up is a alley closure request from the Lebanon Public Library. Bo Cunningham.
Good evening. My name is Bo Cunningham. I'm director of the Lebanon Public Library. We're currently doing some renovations at the library. Inside we're doing new carpeting, new painting. But what I'm here to talk to you about tonight is the exterior work that we're doing. We're doing new roof. We're doing new masonry work on the outside of the old limestone building. We're doing some sidewalk work. We're doing painting of the building outside. So we are going to need some street closures to get some of that work done so it's safe for everybody. I've brought with me Jeff Vinay from SCS Construction. He's going to get into the meat of the work. Jeff, you want to come up?
Thank you, Bo. Good evening, Council.
We are proposing to close the east-west alley directly behind the library on the north side. We're doing this more in the interest of safety to the public and anybody who may walk into that area. We're going to have equipment working high and low on it. We have one residential neighbor in that area. We have spoken with him already. He is okay with everything. I can get that written up if you need to. I have papers here showing where we're proposing on closing that area if everyone would like to.
You actually can put it on the overhead there, and we can see it too if you've got extras, so. Yep, perfect.
You can see by the yellow arrows where the alley is being closed off. We're also closing off the library's parking itself into the lot. We're using that as a staging area for all our equipment and manpower and our office trailer. The access for the fire department, for their hookups, for anything, will be accessible. We are going to put up temporary fencing, chain link fencing, which is easily movable. It'll be on standards, can be slid out of the way for anyone who needs to. But we want to set a dumpster back in through the area so we can easily, efficiently work on the roof to where we can get this done as quickly as possible. But we're proposing this for anywhere from now until at the latest July. Hopefully, if everything goes well, it would be June. But that is the intended time frame on it. I can't give an exact time frame because we're going to have weather during this year, which will certainly affect all the roofing and shingling. We also have another time frame from about the middle of May to the middle of June, where we would request about 3 to 4 days where we would shut down Washington Street between Meridian and East Street so we can spray paint. We want to try and prevent any damage to people's property or anything like that. And we're also going to probably need to do that for Meridian Street between the north alley and Washington Street, the north alley behind the library. That's probably about 2 to 3 days. Just when they're spraying paint only, when they're doing their prep work, there won't be any issues with it. But I probably added an extra day into it just to make sure and cover us for anything on it. But that's what we're proposing on doing. We're trying to enhance the library, and the Carnegie Library is a really nice thing, and we want to make it right for the city of Lebanon.
So tonight, are we just asking for the alley closure, and then you'll
Right.
kind of give us a better heads up when you're getting close to painting, and then we can figure that out?
When I can tighten up the timeline on the painting.
Yep, perfect.
I just wanted to make the board aware of that.
Okay, great. Okay. Any questions from the board on that?
No?
Just to when in July? You just said till July.
That'd be July 1st.
Thank you.
That should be the absolute latest unless we have some crazy weather.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay. Then I would entertain a motion to approve the alley closure request of the east-west alley between North Meridian Street and Northeast Street, just north of the Lebanon Public Library, starting effective immediately through the end of either construction or July 1st, whichever happens first.
I would move to approve the request for the closure of the alley, the east-west alley behind the library on the north side of the library from immediately to July 1.
Okay. Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Thanks.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved, and good luck with your project.
Thank you very much. Would you like to keep a copy of this?
Yeah, it'd be great. We can have it in the record. Yep. Thank you so much.
I have more copies if you want.
I think we're okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, next up is a road closure request for the Megan Hammerly Memorial 5K. Matt Wilson?
Good evening.
I'm Matt Wilson, the Executive Director of the Boone County Mentoring Partnership, and I am here because for the request for road closure for the Megan Hammerly Memorial 5K on May 8th. Just quick, brief background information. After 6 years, the Hammerly family they've been able to fully fund the endowed scholarship in Megan's memory, and they wanted to gift the 5K as a fundraising event to our organization, which we're very grateful for, and we look forward to continuing to honor her memory through the 5K. The request that I have this evening is, can I put this up?
Yep.
Is that upside down?
Yeah, flip it around.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
Is for, like last few years, Grant Street on the east side of the high school, down from Tiger Way up to the T, from approximately 8:30 to 10:30 that morning. The route starts on the track, and you go north on Grant Street up to the middle school, and then they come back down, turn west on Tiger Way. They'll cut through the high school parking lot, take a loop around the park, and then just travel back through.
Yep. And is this remind me, this isn't a rolling closure, right? It's a hard closure, is that correct? Yeah, okay.
And the race starts at 9, and so I figured from 8:30 to 10:30 would be appropriate. It's a run walk too, so.
Okay.
Run walk.
Okay.
So you really don't need a street closure.
No, they do. It's a hard closure, not a rolling closure.
All right.
And so, can you put that map back up, guys? Yeah, that was fast. All right, so, all right.
Do we need any coordination with the police department for traffic control?
I would think so.
Yeah, my thought is if we can use this map and we can just approve it as presented, and then we'll make sure the police department gets a copy and they can handle the closure for us. Does that work, guys? Because I think that's a lot of roads that'll be hard to describe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not,
Road names on there?
I could create a larger.
am I able to zoom in on there? Is there a way you can zoom in on
I
that?
don't see any road names.
Kevin.
I mean, you got, no.
Because some of it is through, some of these are just kind of.
A lot of it's through the
Some of it-
high
some of-
school.
You know
Yeah.
what, I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah, so right here, it comes in at an angle.
Yeah.
That's not the most accurate angle. There's, what is the outer drive right there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
There's some sidewalk that we've used
Okay.
there, so we haven't had to do a street closure there
Okay.
in previous years.
So
Okay.
you run right next to the ballpark, the ball diamond?
In the park, yes.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's portions of, is it Park Street and Tiger Way and Grant Street, essentially?
Yes.
Okay.
What time of the day does this start, Matt?
The race starts at 9.
And be over by what time?
Most people can walk or run within an hour, so I figured.
Worst case,
half-hour
10:30.
Buffer each way would give us.
Yep.
So you're saying between 8:30 and 10:30, is that
Correct.
it?
Yeah.
And there are no Little League games that day, that morning? Because aren't you going to, isn't this the street that goes to the Little League?
Yeah, so what we will do when we hit that Tiger Way area, just north of the ball fields, we'll keep all the runners on the north side of that street, so they shouldn't even necessarily be in the street.
So it's not a street closure then?
Not on Tiger Way.
Not
on
all of
Grant.
it.
On Grant.
Okay. I think we'll hammer out like I said, I think the path is fine. I think we'll just hammer out exactly where they're on the street versus where they're think just touch with Chief Morgan, and we'll make sure we figure that all out, just make sure we have that all in. Yeah, But with that, obviously, I think it's a,
I think they ought to work with Dave too as well.
well, yeah, for sure, yep, because Dave will be the one that has the fences and stuff like that too, so. So with that, would entertain a motion to approve the road closure request for the Megan Hammerly Memorial 5K as presented, pending the work with the street and police departments to hammer out all the details.
I'll make a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the May 8th Memorial 5K from 8:30 to 10:30 as presented, to be approved by the police department and street department.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved. All right, thank you, Matt. Okay, next up, alley activation plan, alley-oop, Missy Krulik.
Some of those are still hidden, right? Some of the slides. Can you start the slideshow again? Okay. Hi, sorry.
You're fine.
Having some tough technical difficulties there. They couldn't hook my computer up to the wireless, so thankful for Kevin for that, for his help with this. My name is Missy Krulik. I'm with the Heart of Lebanon, and I'm here tonight to tell you about a alley activation project that the Heart of Lebanon came up with. First, I'm not quite sure how to use this. There we go. Why alley activations? Alley activations, you can see with the alley activation that the city already did next to Chop House, you can kind of see what the benefit that has to our downtown. But some of the benefits for alley activation is improving public safety and beautification, providing opportunities for engaging public spaces, places for people to visit, relax, and enjoy being with other people. Highlighting some historical assets, enhancing pedestrian experience through a car-free, intimately scaled space. So the alley that we chose that would be a good alley to activate is the north-south alley on Washington Street. So we had to come up with a concept. I'll get this under control. Here we go. So utter the word basketball in Lebanon and you'll begin a conversation between generations. While historically basketball in Lebanon began a bit later than other communities, it quickly became a favorite sport of the town's teenage boys in the early 1900s. The school's reputation and skill level improved year after year and culminated in 3 state titles in 1912, 1917, and 1918. With a record that includes 6 Hall of Fame players, 8 Hall of Fame coaches, 3 championships, 2 2,000-point career scorers, and the first high school athlete on the Sports Illustrated cover. Few schools in Indiana can match the history of Lebanon. The result of this success was a new gym. Memorial Gymnasium was built in 1931 and served as a Tigers high school until 1968. This 2,200-seat facility lasted long enough to host the renaissance of Lebanon basketball, a rebirth brought about by Rick the Rocket Mount. Memorial Gymnasium was also prominently featured in the famed 1986 movie Hoosier. In the movie, the gym was the site for the imagined regional final between Hickory and Linton, in which Hickory's manager, Ollie, makes 2 underhand free throws, sending the Huskers to the state finals. When considering a project that would engage all members of the community, basketball was the obvious choice. So as I said, the location of the alley is on Washington Street. It's that north-south alley between Castle Hall and the county building. When standing in this alley, the Memorial Gymnasium is in the view, which makes it a perfect location for alley hoop. This project will include a walking tour of the history of basketball in our community using historical photos and informational exhibits that include QR codes that link to short clips from local documentarians From the Cradle, a documentary about the history of basketball, along with a smartphone-based tour app called District that will walk visitors through a multimedia narrated historical presentation. When approaching the alley from the newly renovated Courthouse Square, visitors will be greeted overhead by a 14-foot high custom fabricated aluminum archway mounted on 6-inch square black posts. The archway features the silhouette of a basketball net stretched from one end to the other, with Memorial Gymnasium as the backdrop. In the center of the arch is a 36-inch diameter sign panel with laminated digital print graphics that feature a newly developed logo depicting a basketball in the place of our famed courthouse dome with the slogan, "This is home, and home is basketball." Visitors will be greeted by 2 24-inch cast concrete basketball bollards at the entrance of the pedestrian alley. The pavement surface of the alley will be resurfaced with a painted floor graphic topped off with a protective clear coat. The graphic will feature a black surface with yellow and white graphics of "This is home" and "Home is basketball" logo, along with a painted basketball court lines on each end of the alley. The middle of the alley features a half-court line with an outline of a basketball along with painted circles for younger kids to hop from one to the next, mimicking a bouncing basketball. The outside of the alleys will be lined with catenary lighting attached to black poles flanked with digital prints that feature graphics of various Lebanon basketball depictions. They include historical photos of Rick the Rocket Mount, the 1912 state championship team, the first black Lebanon basketball player, just to name a few. The alley also contains an electrical control box that will be laminated with a digital print basketball graphic. Visitors will have the opportunity to take a seat in the alley. Move this side. A seat in the alley at the black metal tables and chairs under a gold umbrella similar to what can be found on the plaza. So there is the overhead shot of the graphics on the surface of the alley, and then those are some of the details seen within the alley. The Heart of Lebanon has worked diligently with Indy Signworks, the City of Lebanon staff members, and the Historic Preservation Commission to finalize this design. The Heart of Lebanon is committed to fundraising for this project through grants, crowdfunding platforms, and community support. I'm here tonight in front of you to seek your nod of approval to continue to move forward on this project since the alley is owned by the City of Lebanon.
So any questions from the board for Missy?
What kind of, Missy, do you know what kind of utilities are down that alley?
There is the electrical control box that's halfway down the alley.
Anything down the middle? Water lines, sewer lines? Anything running down through there?
I have a survey. I'm not for sure that would show.
Kevin, you know if there's anything there?
I don't, not off the top of my head.
Okay,
But,
so we-
you know, she said she's in the preliminary phases of planning this, just to gauge your level of interest in converting the alley in this manner. I've already got a preliminary conversation going with her proposed designer. Obviously, first things first would be utility relocation surveys before they get into detailed designs.
I like the idea. I do like the idea.
I would imagine there is utilities down there.
Yeah, I know there's some
Ed, do
utilities
you have
in the
a
area.
comment on that?
Ed, you know,
I don't know off the top of my head, but I can find out.
Yeah,
Could you
Ed
look
probably
into
doesn't
it?
know offhand.
okay.
My only other comment, I guess we've got those sidewalks there next to the buildings. Are those the cities, or are those the county and that building owner? Do we know anything about that?
According to the survey, the right-of-way extends from building facade to building facade, like each face. So the city owns all the way up into the actual building.
I just don't want to get in any conflicts with the county on
No, we don't.
enough problems.
And the alley is
But
not...
I do like the concept. I do like the idea. I think it's a neat idea. I don't know what else you would put in there, other than something so more people could sit down or something if they're walking through there or whatever, but I'm all for anything like that,
Yeah.
so.
And, well, I like the idea too. On the north end of the alley is not closed off, right? You got the big cement basketballs on the south end, but the north end is open. I mean, if they had to get a fire truck or something down there, it is open, right?
Yes,
Closed
they'll
off?
have tables and chairs, much like what's on the plaza, but, yeah, it
No
could be
permanent
accessible by utilities. Yes, and the surface of the alley is just the asphalt, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
That'd be, speaking of fire, that'd be something you'd have to talk with fire department, see what their
Now-
issues might be.
Now, we do have the catenary lighting towards the south side, but.
And Chief, we generally try to avoid keeping our fire trucks out of alleys these days, so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, not an issue, great.
Just wanted to make sure.
All right.
So tonight, you're not necessarily asking for any funding or anything like that, you're just asking for us approval to move forward with this project?
Yeah, so I can move forward with the project with design and construction documents as needed.
But not necessarily a closure at this time.
Not yet, no.
No.
Okay.
It's a very creative idea that I really do like it, as long as we don't run into any problems with utilities or...
Well, that's going to be her job to sort out, right? So, any other questions or concerns? Okay, then, we'll entertain a motion to approve the alley activation plan, alley-oop, as presented.
I'll make a motion, we approve the alley activation plan for the city, for heart of downtown.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Missy, and look forward to seeing that become a reality.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next up, surplus items, surplus declaration from the Lebanon Fire Department. Chief Batts.
Good evening again. I'd like to seek the board's approval to move a 2006 Ford Crown Victoria car to surplus. This car was acquired from the Lebanon Police Department very graciously, and it's time for it to be retired out of service.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has the surplus equipment form. It's been filled out, and I've contacted Enterprise for an estimate, and it does not run at this time, so we will, I will get with Enterprise and we'll make arrangements to have it towed.
Very good.
So another car that doesn't work, that was built before I graduated high school, so would entertain a motion to surplus the 2006 Crown Victoria.
It's one down, but there is still one left.
Okay, all right, we got one more after this.
Well, I would move to approve the surplus of the 2006 Crown Victoria currently in the possession of the Lebanon Fire Department.
Okay, we have a motion to surplus. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that has been surplus. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bill, for handling that. Okay, next up, downtown street closure request concerning Saber Lebanon. Joe LePage.
Hey everyone, won't take up too much of your time, but wanted to show you the proposed layout of Saber Lebanon 2021, and right in your face, isn't it? Zoom out a little bit here. Looking at downtown Lebanon, as mentioned earlier in the Community Development Communications Report, this is a yearly event that usually takes place in February at the fairgrounds. It's going to be on May 1st from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. downtown and the courthouse square in Lebanon. Put the logo right over the courthouse because it has a courthouse in it. You can see in the upper right-hand corner the large stage. We're getting courtesy of Whitestown that will be put in on Friday evening. A smaller stage for the DJ will be on the south side along Main Street. The setup, the actual setup, minus the stage, will take place roughly at 10:30 a.m. on May 1st. Would ask the approval of not only alcohol to be sold in the downtown square, working with excise and being able to have all the proper fencing that will be needed to be established around the courthouse itself, being able to restrict those with containers leaving, obviously keep restricting those who are under 21 from entering the event, and being able to close the area that I have in black outline at 9 o'clock in the morning on May 1st, that Saturday, for the Saber Lebanon event, to allow enough time for cars to be able to exit the area there and be able to have everything ready to go for vendors, food, beverage, otherwise, to be able to set up and be around the downtown square.
Said, okay, so the closure starts at 9, or when they want to start setting up at 9?
Just being able to start putting out the barriers and things like that. The vendors themselves will not be coming in until they're expected to be between 10 and 10:30 is when the lion's share of those vendors will be coming to set up. And so so the fencing, the gold and gray fencing can be put around to be able to provide that barrier for the event, trying to be safe with the 9 a.m.
Yep, and then how late do we need the closure till?
I would requesting 7 p.m. The fencing is one issue. The vendors being able to put their things away happens relatively quickly, and so 7:30. Yeah.
Okay. And is this going to be, and do we need to do a special closure for the stage coming in Friday, or is it going to be out of the roadway?
It will actually be diagonally placed, if you're familiar with Oktoberfest, where it's at an angle so we can be able to utilize the Washington Street, the roadway, as well as the Meridian side. And so the stage stripes are laid up the rectangle there on the map, but it'll be angular, so we'll restrict that intersection of Washington and Meridian on Friday evening.
Do you know what time that would be?
They said it'd be around 8 p.m.
So that's for April 30th. Okay.
Does that go to Saturday at 7 p.m. too? For the stage?
They say it was 2 to 4, 2 to...
The event itself goes from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m.
2 to 6, okay.
On the 1st. So, but the closure of that intersection will be the Friday evening, and then the remaining, the roadway minus that intersection would be on Saturday morning.
Friday and all the way through Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Okay. I think let's do this in two motions here. One would be, so the first one would be a road closure of the North Meridian Street and Washington Street intersection, beginning at 8 p.m. on April 30th until 7 o'clock p.m. on May 1st. for the stage installation. Do I have a motion for that?
Make a motion, we give approval to close the intersection of Meridian and Washington Street from Friday at 8 PM to Saturday at 7 PM.
Okay.
On May, be the end of April.
April 35th through May 1st. Yep. Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that closure is approved. And then would entertain a motion for the general street closure as presented on North Meridian, Washington Street, and Main Street downtown from 9 a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. on May 1st.
I'll make the motion that we allow Main Street from North Meridian to Lebanon Street, right? To be closed from 9 a.m. Saturday, May 1st to 7 p.m.
Yeah, but also got New Meridian Street and Washington Street as well.
And Meridian and Washington.
Okay. And also allow the service, or the service of alcohol as well on city property there too.
Also allow the service of alcoholic beverage.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that is approved. Thank you, Joe. Should be a great event.
Yeah.
And last but not least, road closure request, Witt Road and Robinson Run.
Thank you very much. I think we can do this quickly. This is associated with the Sunbrook Villas project. So what you can see there is the Phase 1 project. Across the bottom of the screen is County Road 250 North, or Anderson Lane. Along this side of the subdivision is Witt Road, which continues further to the northwest. As part of the approval for Sunbrook Villas Section 1, they are required to reconfigure the intersection. It's tough to actually give a name to the intersection. It's really all Witt Road, so I called it Witt Road and Robinson Run, which is the new street that will tee off of there. So as you go north on Witt Road today, there's a big curve to the left, and you continue to the northwest. This will turn into a perpendicular four-way stop intersection. So what we're asking for tonight, this was supposed to be done last fall with the development of Phase 1. That was delayed, so they're getting ready to start this work actually later in the week. So what we're asking for is approval to close Witt Road from just north of 250 North, parentheses Anderson Lane, approximately about 1,000 feet north around the curve as they begin to reconstruct this area. And then this approval would also include, when that does reopen, it will be a four-way stop pending an ordinance revision later in the evening from City Council related to that four-way stop.
How long is that going to take, Kevin?
They've asked for 30 days. They're hoping they can do it much quicker, but it's supposed to start on April 15th, and so we're asking for a 30-day closure of Witt Road in that area while they reconstruct
Okay. And so this is just essentially it's for a construction closure.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions from the board on that? Okay. Then we entertain a motion to approve the proposed closure for construction of the new interchange at Witt Road and Robinson Run.
I make a motion, we approve the request for road closure at Witt Road and Robinson Run. It's north of 250 for construction for approximately 30 days from April the 15th to May 15th.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that construction closure is approved. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from the board? Okay, move on to claims then. I'm going to entertain a motion concerning the claims.
I make a motion to approve the claims.
We have a motion to approve the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? Claims are approved. Any public comments, announcements, discussion? No sudden movements. All right, would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, April 26th at 6:30 PM.
6:15.
Excuse me, 6:15.
15.